This is Rohan, and yeah, for today's video, it's been 5 years since I uploaded my very first video. So yeah, we're gonna be looking back on the channel, talking about a lot of things related to it, and then yeah, also kind of retelling my story a little bit too, with a bit of added context now as well. Did do something similar to this during like my first year, but yeah, for the end of 2021 when I uploaded my first video. But yeah, there's a bit more for me to say now, I think, in hindsight, so yeah, I kind of want to go over that. So yeah, as a bit of background before making the channel, yeah, I was definitely watching a lot of YouTube videos. I mean, my main favorite videos were Let's Plays, actually. I think it was just fun, learning about games, seeing them played all the way through. Also, pretty very influential in what games I want to try out and get for myself as well, so yeah. Again, a lot of my, pretty much like every game series I play a long time was because I like watching the LP of one of the games in the series, so yeah. I could say that about Fire Emblem, I could say that about Pokemon, I could say that about Persona, yeah, pretty much most of them, so yeah. It's only like recently where, yeah, I decided to, try out games for myself because, again, I'm feeling a bit more confident. Even then, that's because of the internet. Seeing those games being played on the internet really proves very influential, especially back then. So yeah, so this obviously leads on to around 2020, I believe. That's when I first started commenting on videos. This happened during a Persona 4 playthrough. Persona 4 actually proved a very interesting game for me. It was like nothing I'd ever seen before in the JRPG space. I kind of just started watching it for some reason. I don't really know why I started watching it too, but again, it reminded me of it kind of reminded me of Pokemon with its gameplay. At the same time though, it felt very different, and of course it had a very mature plot as well, so yeah. So again, it felt, very different, that's the thing, sure. So again, yeah, it was something I actually wanted to comment on, so yeah. So I would do that, and that's also where I interact with my friends as well. A lot of them also, commenting on those days too. I've always fun to chat with them too, and then yeah, that's where our friendship started, which is really cool. So yeah. So then after that, let's move on to the important year for this, 2021. So during 2021, I was still, working on my university degree, so I need to actually make a video for one of my projects. So to basically keep myself not rusting up on Adobe Premiere, I decided that yeah, what I would do is try and make some videos of my own. Maybe see if I can, make my skills a little bit better at editing, and also just, make videos that I was interested in thinking about. So yeah. And yeah, I would do just that. I would do just that with my very first video. So yeah, let's get on to that. Of course, that first video would be the Sokiana video. I covered chapter 106, Xeno Babies, like probably my favorite chapter in the manga. So yeah. So as a bit of background, yeah, this is an erotic manga actually. It seems a bit strange for me to read this, but oh yeah, I definitely did. I think it was also the first manga I read from start to complete, so yeah. So it's actually quite influential. But anyway, that's like a brief plot synopsis because I don't want to spoil anything, because I do think it's worth checking out on your own if you don't mind that kind of content. You got Tatsuhiko. He wanted to art school. He just wanted to, have a normal college life. But that's when Emeru comes in, who caught him in the act, and yeah, now wants to basically spy on him. So, but the thing is that Emeru's not a bad person, really. Like, yeah, she blackmails him, but she actually tries to help Tatsuhiko out, as you'd see later. So yeah. And yeah, of course, the plot revolves around those two and what they get up to, basically. So yeah. So why was this manga so influential for me? I think it's because of the themes that it covers. Like, yeah, it's also a romance story too. And yeah, not like, it kind of actually changed my viewpoint on romance a little bit as well. As with, some other videos I would watch later. But yeah, it's not just, happy couple getting together. It can get very messy. And there's a lot of dark things that can happen too. And yeah, again, a lot of what was covered really was very emotional for me. And really bring up my emotions too as well. Like, I was actually crying to some points, which is something I didn't really do before with other pieces of media. So again, it was a very meaningful experience. And then yeah, when I read that chapter 2 that I decided to cover, yeah, that's when, I felt like, everything clicked after that, I guess you could say. Like, yeah, it was the end of a big arc in the plot, and then yeah, you can probably guess what that's about. But yeah, reading that, yeah, it just felt so meaningful. So I really wanted to do something with that, not just think about it in my head. And yeah, I got the good idea because the Xenoblade music was there just because again I was listening to that alongside it. And yeah, that's actually kind of thing when you think about it, because yeah, I played Xenoblade 1 and Xenoblade 2 in 2021, and they were extremely meaningful experiences too, especially Xenoblade 2. Xenoblade 2 was basically like Uzuki for me, except it was a game. Like, yeah, there was some very emotional moments there for me as well. That game made me tear up a couple of times too, so yeah. It was one of the most meaningful plots in a game for me, and yeah, probably one of the most meaningful games to me in general, so yeah. Yeah, Xenoblade 2 was a very special game as well. But yeah, Mizuki actually was the thing that came first, so yeah. So yeah, kind of, brought about, made me feel like that I can, feel emotion in plots as well. So yeah. Yeah, I make that video. People are actually kind of impressed with it, to be honest. I'm pretty sure that, yeah, I showed that video, or at least talked about it to my friends, and yeah, I'm still friends with that person to this day as well. So yeah. So I made that video, again, I was very happy with it. Covered what I really wanted to do, so yeah. So I wanted to make some other videos too, but this time I decided to actually record gameplay this time. So my second video I'm actually not very proud of. You can kind of tell by the view count, it only has 20 views after 4 years as well, so yeah. That was my video I talked about difficulty and grinding in Fire Emblem, because again, Fire Emblem was something I felt comfortable talking about. Because yeah, I was actually playing a Fire Emblem game earlier that year as well. But yeah, I don't think the video aged very well, because I was basically saying, yeah, why you should not mind grinding or playing on a lower difficulty. Which, yeah, again, I kind of get what it's getting at, you want to play the difficulty that matches your skill level, so then, and also grind if it makes the game more fun for you. Again, I can definitely get that, but I feel like maybe I was just too much advocating for easier difficulty, basically. Because of course, there's merits to playing on the higher difficulties, as I would know. Like, yeah, in the farm space, I have been trying a little bit to play on higher difficulties too. Especially after, starting to make videos on Fire Emblem 2. Like, yeah, in my own time I was playing stuff like, Rain Dawn, non-easy mode. I did Engage on Maddening. I mean, then again, I didn't really do much other than that. I mean, I guess on the channel I did play Birthright on hard, which I didn't do before. I played Rev on hard, which I didn't do before, so yeah. So I'm all willing to, try out the middle difficulties now. Yes, again, I feel like that's where my skill level is, except for Engage. I felt comfortable trying to take on Maddening. Again, I think the idea is that, again, I think I was afraid to make mistakes in games, but now it's like, yeah, making mistakes is kind of how you learn to become better. So, again, I don't mind playing games that are more difficult nowadays, so yeah. Again, that's kind of why I feel like the video hasn't aged the best, but it isn't just everything, because in the context of V6, like normal, it's a decent balance. Hard is actually quite difficult on the V6 as well. It's definitely not impossible. It's a decently well-designed highest difficulty. But yeah, you do need to beat the game on normal first, which I don't remember that. I'm pretty sure it should have been martial for me, but yeah, again, I didn't want to do it though, because I just didn't have the experience on playing on that difficulty, so yeah. Man, I wasn't really proud of that one, because again, I feel like, again, my opinions of it haven't aged the best, but again, I kind of get what I was getting at too. And it does make sense with how I feel about difficulty as well. I'm trying to, you know, go for the difficulty that matches my place the best. It's just that I feel like my skill level has improved quite a bit now, so it's more leaning towards the middle difficulty now rather than the easier ones. So yeah. And yeah, that actually kind of relates to Radiant Dawn as well. I was doing an easy mode playthrough, but I kind of felt a little bit boring at points, because again, the game just kind of felt too easy. So, because the Radiant Dawn easy mode isn't that difficult. So yeah, I felt like I had much more fun that I played through beforehand, which was on normal. So yeah, so that's kind of interesting. To think about. After that would be my Live Alive videos, where I covered the Kung Fu chapter. Yeah, that was also quite a lot of fun. I'm pretty sure I was playing Live Alive during that year as well. So again, it was a game I did want to show on the channel because I could record it very easily. And yeah, it was actually the first time I was doing LP style videos. I'm pretty sure I did those videos to prove to myself that yeah, I could make LP style videos, like, you know, the people I was watching. So I would do that, and yeah, they actually turned out pretty decently too. This is also before the game got its remake too, so that was interesting to think about. But yeah, I really like that Kung Fu chapter. It's very simple, but despite that, there's still a decent amount of depth, and yeah, it's fun to play through as well. It's definitely a good starting point if you really want to get a feel of what Live Alive is about, because trying to do the prehistoric chapter first is a bit... I won't say it's bad, but it's kind of got a lot of weird stuff to it. So yeah, I don't know if I consider it as good of a starting point. So yeah, that's kind of why I like the Kung Fu chapter quite a bit. So yeah. Like, people start prehistoric just because, you know, that's the first on the timeline. And then you work your way up the timeline, so yeah. But yeah, Live Alive is definitely a very strange game. But a very special one to me as well, because it kind of just came out of nowhere, and then... kind of just came out of nowhere for me. I kind of just watched one video about it, and I really wanted to play all of that, and then I started playing, I was immediately hooked. So yeah, a very special game for me. And yeah, I got a remake, which I still have yet to play for some reason. I think it's just because, you know, there's other games to play as well, but now it's on Steam, it goes on Steal pretty frequently, so yeah, that's probably the way I'm going to play it, and I do like some of the changes the remake has. It would also be very interesting to compare it to the original fan-translated version, so yeah. But yeah, and also I was very chuffed that, you know, while my friends got to play as well, that was also really nice to hear too. And yeah, Live Alive's mechanics would also inspire the Octopath Traveler games too, so that's also really cool. I also need to play those games at some point too, but again, just have so much options in that regard. So yeah, I really like Live Alive, as you can probably tell, so yeah. It's a game that, yeah, I do want to maybe cover on the channel one day. It's just that it's a very obscure RPG, so I feel like it would only really appeal to, you know, the people who already like it, so it'll be very difficult to try and get others invested into it, so yeah. Maybe the remake can help with that, but I feel like, yeah. Again, that one friend I mentioned, I assume they're going to be watching me play it, but yeah. Not many other people will, is I think the problem. Because again, my two other friends, they have like no interest at all, which is a bit of a shame, so yeah. It's a bit of a... it's going to be definitely a big hard sell, but then again, I did do that TXR playthrough, didn't I? So yeah. But anyway, after that though, is like, you know, everything would change. I wanted to do a playthrough of one game fully. Like, yeah, I was kind of evolving with my videos, basically. I made a video that wasn't about games at all. I made a video about games. I made a video series about a chapter in the game. And now I'm going on to making a full-length video playthrough, and this was gonna be the last thing I did, but that's when Chapter 5 happened. During that FE6 playthrough. That's when I started getting comments on my videos, and the main reason why was so I could talk to my friends more easily, basically. And then, yeah, I was hooked on doing that, so yeah, I just kept making videos, and then I found my groove, basically, as well. Not just, talking about the gameplay, but also talking about other topics too, while I was going through it, basically going to tangents as well, so yeah. And yeah, once I did find that groove, yeah, it proved that making videos is a very fun thing to do. Making one video per day, and then obviously trying to edit after that, so yeah. That's kinda how it generally went. There was also some other one-off videos too, based on some other games I played too. But yeah, again, I was mainly focusing on FE6 obviously. So yeah, had a lot of fun with that, and then yeah, it proved that again I kind of had a little bit of a knack for this, so I actually did want to continue making more playthroughs as well. Something I could do on the side while doing other things as well. So yeah, that's I guess that. So yeah, I was kind of toying the idea of either doing a Fire Red playthrough or Fire Emblem 7, sequel to Fire Emblem 6, obviously. It's pretty cool technically. And then yeah, other than that, I played Fire Emblem 7, Pokemon Fire Red, actually was Leaf Green, but yeah. And then other than that, yeah, that's kind of where it went. I kept making videos. I'm pretty sure it was also uploading daily until Persona 2. So yeah, when I got ill. So again, I continue, focusing on Pokemon, Fire Emblem. Those are my main things, and then also making some random videos here and there as well. Getting there with thumbnails too. I can definitely tell that scrolling through my videos as well. There was definitely another important game that happened during this time as well. During my Sacred Stones playthrough, I mentioned that I was interested in playing Persona 1. So yeah, I started making videos of Persona 1. And those videos did very, very well, especially in the long term. So basically after Emerald, I decided that yeah, I would go and do Persona 1. And yeah, I think that Persona 1 was probably one of the most meaningful playthroughs on the channel for me. I think it was one of the most meaningful playthroughs on the channel because again, it kind of showed that yeah, I could show kind of a more niche game in a very positive light, and also positive light, should we say, and then also showing off my expertise as well. Again, I practiced the game twice, playing both versions of the game as well, and yeah, they really enjoyed it. They also really enjoyed, the one-shot videos or just the full sets too. Those are my most viewed videos on the channel, with most viewed having 20,000 views, which is very impressive. So yeah. So again, Persona 1 did very well, and then following it, I feel like yeah, Persona 1 and then the next game, Fire Emblem 4, that was the peak of the channel for me. I believe 2023 is when I got the most views as well, because that's when one of my Persona 1 boss fight videos really blew up, so yeah. So again, yeah, that was definitely the golden age for me. Fire Emblem 4 was probably my best playthrough in my opinion. Again, I think the playthrough was almost perfect. Persona 1 was very close though. It's hard to pick between the two for my best playthroughs, but yeah, it's definitely one of those two, I think. Again, view counts are good. Playthroughs are really good too. They're quite fun to watch in their own right, I think, as well. Not just because, I'm the one talking, so yeah. Again, I covered both games very, very well. And yeah, to be honest, yeah, it was still quite good after that, because yeah, that's why I covered Persona 3. Now this just turned to me just going over all the games. Persona 3 would happen, that was a very fun time as well. That's also when I played Tokyo Extreme Drift 2 as well. Had a fun time with that game as well, then played Fire Emblem Engage as well. Not on the channel, but yeah, I would do some videos talking about it later after that, so yeah. I mean, the server was definitely very important playthrough as well. So yeah. So there's also that too. That was one of the longest projects, and then yeah, probably after that, Persona 4 is probably going to be on the longest when I do cover that. So yeah. But yeah, 2023 was definitely a very interesting year. That's the thing, sure, with all the games that I played. So yeah, like Farron Gauge. I was thinking about Grudges of War during that year as well. DXR, obviously, yeah. Yeah, I think, yeah, after that, yeah, I felt like, yeah, my videos are still kind of good. Like, yeah, still, covering, the games I wanted to play. Like, yeah, I was going into DS Pokemon games, that was great. I even tried to play Fates on the channel because that was very fun. Had a fun time with that, so yeah, even if, yeah, the video quality wasn't the best, in my opinion, I was definitely trying to push the laptop as far as possible, so yeah. Yeah, I think Fates did well, but I think after that's when, I started to fall off a little bit. Again, Alcohol was definitely a good playthrough, but yeah. Again, I went from, very good to just kind of being, good, I felt. I think I was doing a good job of my videos, but yeah. It definitely felt like, yeah, I could have done better, I felt like. I think it's a little bit hard for me to tell what I could do better, especially nowadays. Like, yeah, I'm now, not restricted by my equipment anymore. I'm very happy with my desktop now. I don't have to use the weak laptop that I was using before. That is great. So now, yeah, it's much easier to make the videos that I want to play. But yeah, well, videos I want to make, games I want to play. So yeah. Again, there's a lot more options for me now. But again, there's still some good flavors out there. I think Persona 2 was a big highlight. Of course, sequel to the very successful Persona 1 playthrough. Covering both games is great. I also told a lot of people about those games too. So yeah, that was definitely another big important playthrough for me as well. So yeah, so that was also very important too. Yeah, again. Like I said, yeah, now that I got the good equipment again, I do want to think, how could I, improve, I guess you could say. How could I, try to make better videos in my situation? I think that's a bit difficult, again, I think the thing about myself is, again, these videos are simply just a hobby. They're just a small hobby that I want to do while, working during the weekdays. That's just kind of how I want to do things, basically, so yeah. So again, nothing too complex or anything, I just want to, get my voice up there, talk about the games that I really, really love, and, get my voice up there, talk about the games I really, really love, and, interact with my friends too, interact with my subscribers as well. That's the main thing I want to do. So again, that's kind of why I'm sticking to, doing playthroughs on the channel as well. Again, it's something I'm comfortable with. I feel like it's something I've done my whole life, obviously. I've also got my, brother to watch me play games too. He even play games on site as well, so I think it's just a very natural thing for me, so yeah. So yeah. So again, I think that's why I keep doing it, rather than, trying to branch out, maybe make some video as these two. And I don't know if I have the expertise, is the thing. Again, I'm just, I don't have much time to make videos, so yeah, I just kind of want to, make what I want to make, basically. So, and again, that might be why I also did that Tokyo Experience at playthrough 2. Again, that was a game I just really wanted to cover in some way. Again, that game was very meaningful to me, so again, just do a play from the channel. That's kind of what I want to do. As well as, get myself familiarized with my new recording setup too, before a big project like Black White 2, which I'm currently doing, so yeah. So again, yeah, it's something interesting, but again, we'll see. Again, I like making playthroughs. Again, it's good that, because of me, they're not going to die out as well. even, some of the small scales and stuff, I'll keep doing them, even if, they completely drop off the face off YouTube. So, yeah. Which, yeah, that will never happen, but yeah. You can't get the idea. It's just something I like doing, I feel comfortable doing. And yeah, if I was to branch out, I think the main way I would is mainly covering newer games. Because again, I mainly cover games that are older or have already came out. So yeah. So it'd be interesting, maybe make some one-off videos on newer games, maybe get some more attention on them as well. I think that's one way I could definitely branch out as well. Is again, it's not a bad way, because I am, definitely more adept at playing different kinds of games too, so yeah. Yeah, I'm finding meaning in other types of genres too, so yeah. That's another thing to think about too. Yeah, again, that kind of went on a bit rambly, but again, like I said, yeah. While, the peak of my charm may have passed, it's gonna definitely take a lot of work to, get back to that, I'm still very content. Getting 200 plus subscribers, that's a big achievement. For someone that, lacks social skills, especially, before I started making videos as well. Again, that's a big achievement. And, making these videos too, writing comments and stuff, has definitely helped me out personally as well. I feel more confident when talking to other people too. Some of the things that made it difficult for me to talk, I feel like are a little bit less difficult. I'm actually better at typing now because of all the comments I made. I actually type like a normal person rather than what I was doing before, so yeah. So, again, making these videos definitely improved me as a person, I think. Like, yeah, I mentioned in one of my Black White 2 videos, Sword and Shield. I feel like, yeah, the person I was before kind of rejected the game, I felt like. But nowadays, I'm thinking, did I, was I too harsh? Was I too harsh? Considering that, yeah, I would go on to, still like, Scarlet and Violet, for example. So, yeah. And yeah, I don't mind, I don't know. It's difficult, because again, like I said, I can't just drop the game, and I'm not so... During the post-game, should we say. I can't just drop the game, and I'm not really sure why, is the thing, so yeah. Something I would like to cover during my Black White 2 playthrough, I think. So yeah. But again, I wouldn't really reject it like I did back then, I felt like. Because again, I would try to, I feel like the person I am now, would try to find more positive and try to get more meaning out of a playthrough like that as well. I think, yeah, that was definitely one thing that definitely didn't help my first playthrough again. Lack of meaning behind that playthrough, Nowadays, though, I would definitely try to fix that, though, so yeah. And it's interesting. And again, playing different genres I wouldn't think of playing with beforehand, too. And we'll see. Anyway, I think to end this video as well, I'll mention also, I guess, dream projects, I guess you say. I think, I have an unenviable thing that my favorite game of all time is basically impossible to do a playthrough of, and that's Gran Turismo 4. So yeah. Would definitely be a dream come true to cover that on the channel some way, but definitely wouldn't be a playthrough. It had to be something else, so yeah. So yeah, that's a thing. But, I already talked about why I love that game so much, so yeah. Again, it definitely won't be the last time I probably do a video like that, so yeah, because again, it's a game that's so important to me, but I think after maybe a Spec 2 playthrough or another playthrough, maybe that's the time to think about, maybe that's the time to think about, maybe doing another video on it. And I would love to do, playthroughs of all my favorite games. Luckily though, most of that shouldn't be an issue, like, Rain Dawn. Rain Dawn, for example. I said Tokyo Series I was thinking Tokyo Series, but that is a racing case, so I'm not 100% sure on that. I am covering Black White 2. Say again, I don't think it'll be too problematic to, cover a lot of my favorite games, especially because, yeah, I do mostly play games that I already like a lot anyway, so that's fine. Because that, again, with me being very nostalgic for the PS2 era racing games, yeah, again, I can't really cover those very easily, just because I don't have the viewer base. again, most likely people want to see me, play more RPGs and also focus on what I wanna, or focus on what I'm strong at, like Persona, for example, and Persona, Pokemon, Fire Emblem, all those good ones. And again, yeah, and I'd be very open to continue playing games in that series too, as long as I have the hardware for it. So yeah, again with Pokemon, eventually I'm gonna have to stop because again, unless I do want to, emulate such games, for example, and that's something I could do, but again, I'm not 100% sure. Same with Fire Emblem, I guess, as well. And at least with Persona, though, games are coming to Steam, so I can basically just keep covering them. There's also, the idea of, games remaking playthroughs too, and also covering remakes as well. Emerald was a good example where there's Oras. So again, I don't know if I want to do a traditional playthrough of that if I want to cover Oras. It might have to be something a bit different. So that's something to think about as well. Again, there's a lot to think about. And again, like I said, I could definitely branch out. Maybe a different kind of video idea will come about and I actually become good at it. So, you never know what could happen with myself. So yeah. So that's a thing as well. So yeah. I think that's mostly everything I want to discuss on this 5th anniversary. Again, it's been a while on the ride, that's damn sure. But again, this is something I love doing, and yeah, I'm glad that it gives me something to relax on the weekends. I guess say from very hard week of work with my job. So yeah. And again, seeing all the comments and stuff, seeing, the discussion with Discord server, that definitely motivates me. That's the actual, seeing, comments, larger views, and getting subscribers, yeah. Again, while it's not, the thing I'm aiming for, again, it just feels nice that, it feels nice to see that, yeah, the video that you did do actually ended up good. So, yeah. That thing motivates me to, try and, keep doing better, I guess you could say. Or, keep thinking about what I could do to make the video slightly better too. And yeah, I do think subtly like that as well. Like, yeah, maybe not making the videos too long if necessary as well. So, yeah. But yeah. Again, we'll see. Again, I wouldn't mind, hearing what other you have to think too about what I could do to improve as well. That could be interesting. So, yeah. And I could definitely see, maybe more editing in the videos too. That could definitely be something as well. Especially for certain kinds of games as well. So, yeah. So again, something interesting to think about too. But again, like I said, this is still a hobby, so again, as long as I am still able to make videos, I'm definitely quite content as well. So and people enjoy those videos even better. So yeah. So again, I think that's mainly everything I wanted to talk about. And yeah, again, there's definitely a lot to think about with my past videos as well. So yeah. Think about how far I've come. Maybe also, maybe try some positive ideas too. So yeah, again, there's definitely a lot to think about with the past as well. Because again, I did so well during when I did Farm 4 and Persona 1. So yeah, it would be cool if I could rekindle some of that magic as well. Maybe try to get out a lot of what made this playthrough special as well. So yeah. Anyway. Yeah, again, I think that's, mainly everything I got for this. So yeah, here's hoping for another successful 5 years. Well, making videos again. Not really sure when I'm gonna stop making videos too, but again, I'll just, keep making videos for as long as I can. And yeah, even if it means just stopping playthroughs, as long as, I still, if I do stop making playthroughs, as long as I'm still making games or videos about games, then yeah, that could definitely make it too. But I don't think that's gonna happen for a very long time, so yeah. Anyway. Yeah, I think that's that, finally, so yeah. So like I said, yeah, here's to hopefully another successful 5 years of making videos. I think for that, I would probably, do a montage of some of my favorite moments. And I kind of talked about what my favorite playthroughs were, but yeah, it'd be cool to do something like that. for a video like that. So yeah. Anyway, again, I definitely talked on longer. So yeah, next time, yeah, not really sure what it's gonna be, but yeah, I hope you enjoy what my next video is gonna be, and yeah, look forward to that. And I'll see you guys again for that.